What would you like to be remembered for?
Just as a legend, man. But what really is the matrix? It's just the temptation of the shaitan. I don't care about the money and I don't care about the following. I just care about my impact. It's just the hard work and dedication and discipline. It's not achieved easily, you know. You have to find the perfect balance. Because if you focus too much on the dunya, you will drown in it.
He said, "My Lord, the prison is preferable to me than what they call me to do. Unless you turn their gall away from me, it may well be that I will fall for them, and so become a man of ignorance." Enes, this is a passage from The Message. It is a beautiful aesthetic book that summarizes translations of different surahs, and it uses scenic photography to capture one's senses. And I wanted to learn more about it, and it really helped me. So I would like to gift you this book.
No way, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Another gift, man. These guys keep giving gifts, man. Alhamdulillah. I appreciate it, my bro.
It's a pleasure.
I think if you read this verse out of this book, you've done some research. This is actually my favorite verse of the Quran. So Surah Yusuf has a special place in my heart, man.
Yeah, I looked into the full story because it's actually it's a pretty special story.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give us some context about it? Because just reading this passage, it may not be as clear for everyone.
Yeah, the thing is, Yusuf alayhi salam was known for his beauty, you know. So a lot of women were chasing him, and that was one of the reasons he got. Just long story short, I want to also give people some homework. Just read the whole surah. So yeah, because of that, of how many fitna he had with women, he just said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, prison is more likable for me. So that's just a big example for us, because nowadays every man is chasing
Temptation.
the fitna of the women, the temptations. When you go to the gym, you see people train for just to look good for women. You see people working to earn money to give it out for women. They go clubbing, they go, I don't know what it is, but just a lot of fitna. And for these people to say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the prison is more likable for me, that's an example for everyone, not even the Muslim people, for everyone. So that's why I really like this surah, and this is just a small chapter of the whole surah, man. So
yes,
the women were even cutting their own hands when they were seeing Yusuf alayhi salam. So that's how beautiful he was. And for him to say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just get me into prison, bro, believe me, every man would have chastened those women, man. And that were the women of those times, were the wife of the king and their helpers, so the most beautiful women of that time.
And they were even trying to set him up, right? Because they feel a certain resentment towards him, that they didn't like him, that he didn't like them back.
Yeah. So you see it, man.
But as you said, people should do their homework and look into it. It was really insightful, actually. Before the podcast, I looked into the full story with Emre, a good friend of mine, and you know him as well. Big shout out to him.
Shout out to him.
And yeah, just very inspiring. But that all, of course, goes for every surah in the Quran. What a beautiful way to start a podcast.
Yeah, man.
Hey everyone, I'm just going to pause the episode real quick to ask you that if you are enjoying the Success Show, then please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell, because the bigger the show gets, the bigger guests we can bring on. Thank you. Enes, it's now been 1.5 years since I talked to you at this exact spot, same place, some new cameras.
Yeah, man,
and a few bigger lights. But we're here again.
You want to try to make me nervous, I think.
Is it working?
But I have now experience, you know.
No, it's great, man. You've done so much. You built your brand. You started making YouTube videos in English. Your social media grew massively, and I think that's all for the eye. But I think you yourself have gone through a massive transformation also within this 1.5 years.
Of course, bro.
And I'm so happy to have you on. And I just want to ask you, like, if you look back at this 1.5 years, what has happened?
Too much to think of, man, bro. Crazy journey, but alhamdulillah. Yeah, what you just said was also a progression for myself. I've seen a lot of, things that were first really valuable for me that aren't really valuable now at the moment. So I was really focused on getting like known too much and followers, but now I see like the impact of the following. You know, I want to get known for somebody that's positive and not just stay active and post training stuff. I want to inspire people, and now I'm seeing the work of the impact is different than back then. And subhanAllah, it's crazy. And also, what comes with a lot of followers, we go back to the chapter of Surah Yusuf, is you get more DMs, you get more attention, and of course with women, and of course with people that only want to speak for you for EKanon. So that's also something that was difficult, and I still have problems with. Just people like, for example, messaging me to get some, I don't know, free promotion or just for the clout, you know. And I like to speak with people that are just wanting to know me as Enes and not like only EKanon. And that's why I like to do a podcast with you guys, because you guys are with me since day one. Also Emre, behind the camera, he filmed one of my first ever really quality content I filmed with him. So that's why I valuable like the people that were with me since day one.
You know, it's so special you say this, because also in my own life, not when it comes to social media, but when it comes to growing a business, it is so hard to find the right people that are there with you for the right reasons. I am so lucky also to have met Emre and Roin, who was the producer of the podcast, but was also helping me when it came to homework at Bouwkunde, which is the architecture study that I was doing. And when you find those people, you really have to stick with them, because it's just so hard nowadays, and people will be with you because certain reasons, and they see certain outcomes that suit them, so therefore it becomes convenient to be a friend with you. But as you said, you really have to,
you have to have like a filter for those people, you know, because some people, they also have the good intentions with you, but you automatically put them also with the bad people because you're scared, like they will, need something off your back, you know. So that's my circle, still the same from day one. I have Senzi in the back. He knows me since I was, I don't know, a minor. So I have still the first people what I started with. They were telling me to start content, you know. So alhamdulillah, I keep my circle tight and just working, man.
Beautiful, man. And as you talked about impact, and that is something that you want to seek and you want to work for.
Yeah.
You've mentioned that nowadays you see that you have a certain impact when you come to a place, or when you organize something. There are a lot of people that participate or want to join. In what ways have you seen that you have created this impact, and that you can actually create even bigger impact if you would go for that?
Yeah, first, my impact, which I was seeing, was only in the Netherlands itself. So yeah, people already knew my progression in the gym. So in the Netherlands, I was already a little bit known in the calisthenics community and in the gym community. So when I, like for example, walked in the centrum of The Hague, people already said like, hey, you train like an animal, you know. But that was back before I really had these followers. But now, just a couple months ago, maybe 3 months ago, I went to Umrah, and people recognizing me from all different sides of the world. That was just for me something special, because I met one guy in Medina. He was Pakistani but lived in Hong Kong. What are the odds, you know, of him seeing my content? So that was a great experience, alhamdulillah. And also a lot of just the Saudi people recognizing me, giving me free stuff, which I think I don't deserve, because I'm just doing me, you know, I'm just doing my job. But alhamdulillah, it's great to see the recognition for my hard work, man. So that was one of the things that I thought, subhanAllah, I have a big influence on people. And also, like you just said, with the FullForce meetups, last one was crazy, over 100 people, you know, a lot of young guys, old guys, it was crazy, different ethnicities. So alhamdulillah, we're just doing positive stuff.
You're gonna have to build your own fitness park that can fit all those 100
yeah,
people.
Inshallah soon. Yeah,
it's beautiful. Actually, in this podcast, I would like to zoom in on FullForce, because in the last podcast, so this is 1.5 years ago, mind you, you quickly touched on it. That you were working on something. You had mentioned that you were about to travel somewhere work on a new project. You hadn't talked about it yet, but it was a tip of the iceberg, and now we're here. I see you're wearing a new color as well. This one has not been released yet as
Not
we're recording this,
released
but
yet,
when it will be out,
Inshallah.
the blue color will inshallah be out in the web shop, so check that out.
Check it out, man.
Can you tell me about the brand and what the meaning behind it is?
Back then, I was really one of the first ones, I think, the athletes that are known in Europe for covering their aura. I think I made the trend in Europe. And there was no other product for this. There was no solution. So I was using sweat belts, and it was just, or my t-shirt, and it was keep falling down. And I thought by myself, let's start to make this product to help a lot of people that wanting to cover their aura, because a lot of people also were DMing me, yo bro, where did you get this aura cover? And I thought, what, if people ask for this, let's make it work. I always said, if I start a business, I want to start something that has an impact on for the ummah, something beneficial. So then one of my business partners, I have a business partner. So he came up to me with the idea of, let's start a gym brand, not just focus on aura section only. So then I thought, what's step one for this? Obviously, I was looking how many people really want this product and this and that. And then I thought, what? Let's just start it, because I think if you go in a project with fear, you won't be successful. Because I heard one quote, what was it exactly? It was like, fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. So that quote, really hit me. Then I thought, what? Let's just start. So I spared some money. I went to Turkey, straight away went to a tailor shop, and I said to him, this is what I want, make it for me now. I want a trouser with an extended aura band. And the guy was looking at me saying, bro, where's your measurements? Where's your size guide? Where's this? Where's that? And then I thought, I have to do some work first and do some research on how to start a clothing brand, and because I wanted to do it as professional as possible. Because when I sell things, people will say, yeah, look, it's EKanon's brand and it's not a great quality or this and that. So I really focused on the quality stuff. So that's when I really started this journey, because my business partner told me, let's make something big of it. And also we wanted to create like-minded people together, like an army. And that's why we came up with the name FullForce. And FullForce stands for people that go full force. It's just a force that goes fully in everything, in every aspect. Religious, with business-wise, with getting a great network, everything. Just bringing all strong people together. And doesn't matter your background or ethnicity. We just come for positive stuff. And that's why we are known as FullForce. And we try to extend this, inshallah.
MashaAllah, brother. I'm so proud of you, just seeing from back then to now what it has become. I remember back then you even touched on the fact that you, even though you had such a crazy Instagram account with a really big reach, brands were not willing to start partnerships with you, which of course from a marketing perspective does not make any sense, but perhaps because they didn't like the views you had or the background that you had or what you promoted, they were careful in who they were working with. And then you said, okay, that's good. I'll start my own brand. Can you tell me some more about that feeling that you felt back then and how you transformed that into a force?
Yeah, that was just also one of the big pillars why I started this brand, because a lot of sponsorships were declining me because of my background, I think, because of my Islamic content. And then I thought, these people are just missing out on a big growing network of Islamic people, of Muslim people. And that's also growing now on social media. So just put one and one together, and just start a business for the Islamic people as well, And there was just a fire in me that was burning to just bring out my best, and also AAA quality like the big brands that were declining me. And so alhamdulillah, we managed to do a great job. And of all my orders, I never had one return complaining about the quality, alhamdulillah. If it was a return, it was because of size. And that's something I'm really proud of. And let them come, man. I'm coming for them.
The brands are watching and they're sweating now. It's beautiful, bro.
Nowadays, people try to take things out of context. We're just positive people who want to take over the world with positivity and our brand.
Beautiful, man. And of course, people see this and they see all these beautiful progressions that you've made with the brand. But what they don't see is the headache. The long nights, the long evenings, delivering packages. I've seen a lot of stories with you and Sensei. We'll touch on him later in the podcast. I want to know your relationship with him because I've seen him in every single story, in the gym, in the warehouse, in the car. He's there by your side. Can you tell me about some of the hardships that you have encountered in this journey of building this brand?
Bro, what I said of the quote of fear, first I had a lot of fear of will it like be something big and will the invest, will everything will be worth it, just my time, going 1 year back and forth to different countries, to Paris, to Turkey, to Germany, you know, so and I took a lot of people with me in the journey. So that was a really headache of just sleepless nights of how am I going to do the best promotion for this brand, the best release, which pictures on the website, because I'm a perfectionist and I can't sleep after Fajr. If I wake up for Fajr and I try to go back, all my thoughts of what kind of content, what kind of promotions, what kind of this, that, I just make myself crazy. But I think that's just things that make me successful for now. So that were the biggest headaches. And also, bro, you're a content creator yourself. Sometimes making content is really, really irritating. So alhamdulillah, my content is a little bit easy. I just ask my broski, brother, can you record me? And I just do a muscle up, alhamdulillah, and people get inspired by it. But now I try to bring it to top tier, do some long format content on YouTube. And that's why I find it really hard, man. Time, work, and just slowly, step by step, build my brand. And of course, if I can give things out of hand, I try to do that. Now I've got an editor for YouTube.
Great.
Shout out to Omar, working hard for me. Shout out to Muhammad that making my thumbnails. So those are things that really help me a lot now, alhamdulillah.
I see on the website that you had to go through 15 revisions to get the right design, and also when it comes to the fabric and of course the measurements. There are so many things that come to play when trying to build the perfect product. Could you tell me could you tell me about that, like the way it from 0 to 100, like having the finalized design?
Bro, when I went to Turkey, this is a funny story, man. So I booked my flight to Turkey for 10 days. And my goal was, in these 10 days, I have to go home with at least one sample. Because otherwise, it was thrown away money. That's how I looked at it back then. Now I see it as school money. Just pay off the lessons and that's it. So we were really pushing hard, Googling like different tailors and everything, and just knocking on their doors. And I had like a different designer pant. I don't want to name their company, but I went to a how do you name just a tailor.
Yeah.
And he stitched the aura band that I just made myself to the pants. So I had a sample of my own to show the manufacturer, like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
So the first day, I just came to Istanbul relaxed, just enjoy the nice views of the Bosbrusbrug and the bridge, and just enjoy life. Then I thought, okay, next day, grind. So we Googled some tailors, some manufacturers, and we just knock on their doors. And the first one, I show him the sample. I say, please, could you make this? Could you make this for me? And he said, this is like candy for a little child. Of course I can make this, blah, blah, blah. And he was giving me like a lot of like great feelings, like alhamdulillah, I got something already on the first try. I thought, okay, alhamdulillah. So he said, give me a couple days. And I said to him, how many days? Because I need the sample back to also visit a lot of different manufacturers. Then he said, okay, just give me 4 days.
That's half your trip gone.
Almost half of my trip was gone. And I thought, okay. So he was showing me different kind of fabrics, which I could have chosen out of a different color. So I thought, okay, this guy is legit, No discussion about the price or anything. I just wanted to know if he could make this trouser, you know. So I just enjoy my holiday, just eat outside with my cousin and just relax a bit, you know, seeing Istanbul, go to a shooting range, just doing some crazy stuff. Then I called this guy. He said, yeah, come to my office. Now I came to his office and he gives me the sample back. And I was waiting to see the new sample, you know, that he made for me. He said, yeah, I can't make this.
And this was how many days after?
This was 4 days.
Oh, wow.
And we were calling him every day and he said, yeah, we're busy looking for the fabric, blah, 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 blah. The feeling in my heart, like it got crushed, you know. I thought to myself, you know, we are doing something great, and I was treating myself on my journey, in my vacation. So then all the stress came up to my head, and I thought, okay, now what's next? I didn't have a plan B. And also, then I thought, you know, let's go to a different one. Doesn't matter. Now we're gonna work even harder. So I visited like 3 or 4 different fabrics in one day, and all of the conversations were like, "Where are you from?" And I was saying from Netherlands, and my Turkish is good, but you hear of my accent that I'm from the Netherlands. And he was saying, "Oh, you got euros." I said, "Yes, I got euros." He said, "Then you're gonna pay in euros as well." So I was thinking, bro, why are these people like too much on money? They are just, everybody try to eat everything from you, like every sip of your body, they want to just get it out of you, you know. And then I thought, okay, this is business, and this is what I learned from, okay, this is the hard side of business. Everything was like, I showed them, look, I almost have 100k followers. Back then I had like 80k followers. I was showing him. He didn't care, bro. He just said, how many pieces are you willing to buy of me? I said, what is your minimum? He said, if you don't order 5k trousers, I won't even start my machine. Bro, I'm just starting, you know, and this is a brand just, it's new to the market with an extended aura cover. I don't know if it will hit the right spot of promotion. And so it was really stressful. And that was my journey of Turkey. And then I went back with a sample, my first sample. But
before you continue, can you tell the people
Yeah.
how it works with like because you said 5k trousers, people are like, why 5k? Why do those manufacturers want to get those big orders at the beginning?
You know what it is? They just want to see if you're legit and are willing to stay a partner with them. They have so many clients in Turkey. They have so many big clients. He isn't like bothered to help you because you come for like 1,000 pieces or 200 pieces. Or he just looks at you and says, "I have to make this old trouser from zero to the end, and also give you just 200 or 1,000 pieces."
Yeah.
For him, it doesn't make sense. But for me, it's like, why don't you invest together with the small company? Because maybe in a couple years he can grow and he will stay loyal. And that's how I am. I will stay loyal. So back then I thought, okay, let's go back to the Netherlands and make a proper tech pack, like measurements of the design and what the logo is going to be. Because first I thought I want to see if people are willing to make this trouser, but now I see if you throw money at them, they will make everything for you, bro. They will make everything for you. So that was a really hard time in my career, man. We wanted to give up a couple times. Then I thought, no, this is just so close to me and also a solution for the Ummah. I have to bring this out, even if it's not profitable. Just bring this out and see what it does. Because what I said, I'm a goal chaser. I don't want to sit back at the end and think by myself, what if? So alhamdulillah, I did it, and alhamdulillah, it's paying off. And the hard work was worth it, man, alhamdulillah.
You feel like you were being tested?
Of course, man. Every day, bro. Every day. And also, what comes with the clothing business is the manufacturer. They always like try to eat off you with little things. For example, with zippers, they say, no, we can't make the zippers. No, it's expensive. If you pressure them, all of a sudden he's sending a sample with zippers. And I think by myself, but he couldn't make them. He said he couldn't make them, but that's just part of business. And alhamdulillah, I have a great business partner that helps me with all the stuff behind the scenes. And I'm not really shy of working for my own company. If I have to box everything up and send them by myself, I will send them proudly by myself. And Alhamdulillah, Sensei, from day one, he's helping me. A lot of brothers as well, my own brothers, like Muharram, Metan. That are my bigger brothers. Everybody is supporting me, Alhamdulillah, in this progress. That's just for me. I'm blessed with, man.
And I've been looking on your social media, of course. We have been following you, and in a lot of the stories, of course, there were many people that were helping you with the brand. We won't
Yeah.
forget them. But Sensei would come back, and almost every other story, he would be
Yeah,
there in the gym, in the car, outside, in the warehouse, packing orders, printing the labels. He was there in every story. Of course, I haven't seen much about him. I think he's a pretty private guy. He doesn't have, he's not very active on social media. But I would love to hear about your connection with him.
Sensei, if you want, you can come and say hello to the people. Yeah, Sensei is just somebody I met him because of my brother. He knew my brother first because he's a couple years older than me. He's, I think, 4 years older than me, or 3 years, I think, something like that. And we just been through the same journey. You know, he's from the roads, I'm from the roads, and we have just the same principles, the same mindset. And also, when I first started training, he is the one that got me into calisthenics with strict pull-ups, and he was really on to me and punishing me. And if I was doing half reps, he was punishing. Till this day, he's still like really on my like really onto me, you know. And he's just focused on breaking me and bringing the best out of me, alhamdulillah. And it's vice versa, and me also for him. And we support each other until death. We are brothers in deen. And just like I said, man, we have been to the same journey. He lost the same people I lost, and alhamdulillah, we're winning together, inshallah.
Beautiful, man. I would like to ask you, what role does Brotherhood have in your brand? Because of course there are many brands that are just, they are brands and they have
Yeah.
good marketing, and they have pretty models on pretty backgrounds, pulling pretty poses to sell a product. But then we see the FullForce marketing, and we have a group of 100 people in a fitness park doing muscle ups, trying pull ups for the first time.
Yeah, man.
I had friends calling me from my architecture class, telling me, "Hey, I know Enes is going there. Can you come?" Like it's really a movement.
Crazy, man. Alhamdulillah.
And alhamdulillah, and like you've really created something. I'm very curious about the word brotherhood. What place does it have in your brand and even in your life?
For me, brotherhood is the key for success, man. Those are the people, like, if you behave some way, they're the reflection of it, you know? So for me, my brothers are the people that have the same mindset as in the religious aspect, the physical aspect, spiritual aspect, everything. Just like we said in the FullForce army, people, like-minded people, you know? How can I explain it this the best way? I think people that are just focused on the most positive way of life and just being a great reflection of their religion, you know? So if they look at us, maybe we look scary, but we're really inspirational. We're really positive people, and we are ready to help everyone. Doesn't matter who it is. We are ready for each other. We are loyal for each other. There's no backstabbing. So I believe if you have like-minded people together, it's much better than staying on your own. Because if you train with a big group, you already know you're gonna go for your PR. You're gonna go for your absolute best, and not just a session like the other day, and just do a lazy session and go back home. Nah, man. If you have a brotherhood, you will be stronger together, man. Because every training session, if I train by myself, I'm like tempted to let's just do 3 sets and it's done. But if I'm with the brotherhood and somebody names like a number of reps, then you have to do the number of reps. Otherwise, the brothers will punish you, you know. So that's why I like the brotherhood, man. For us, it's number one in FullForce.
And let's stretch it even wider. Now it comes to the brand. We're here now. The brand has existed around a year now, I think.
Yeah, just promotion. I think I started selling in like the 9th month.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
like half year,
Almost.
half year of selling.
Okay. Clear. Yeah, because we were talking about it back then, but for half year
Yeah.
we've been live. What does the future look like of full force? Because you talk about if I do something, I want to go full force. Of course, that takes time. I think you've in the meantime, it was so successful. You could have launched different products and everything would have sold if you would have attached your name to it. I know you're someone that likes to perfect your craft, and that's not something that you stand for. If we talk about the future of full force, what does it look like?
I think, alhamdulillah, inshallah, a bright future because I'm seeing the potential and I have some secondary businesses attached to it that I'm working behind the scenes of. And I'm still staying secret about that, just like the first podcast. But as you just said, you don't become full force in just one day. So it's attached to that. We are trying to guide people, inshallah, and just need a place to do that. So I think I spoiled it already a little bit, but yeah, we're working on that, and also some new designs, new trousers, new vests, new jackets, bucket hats, kufis. So everything, man, inshallah. Just step by step. I like to take my time.
Patience.
Patience is the key to success, man.
Beautiful.
Sabr.
Sabr. Also, one of the key takeaways from the use of Surat, if I'm correct.
Of course, man.
Beautiful. And as of course, calisthenics played a big role in your life. It played a role in your personal development, but also in the way you have designed your brand. One of the things that I've heard you mention in interviews you've done, but also in the podcast before, is you mentioned Hannibal for King. I want to ask you, what was it? What's the feeling that you had when you saw the first video of Hannibal for King? What went through you? If you go back to that moment,
Bro, I thought it was fake, man. I thought it was Photoshop, man. But yeah, it was crazy. I think, like around the age of 15, 16. And it just came across my YouTube feed, and I saw like a dark skinned guy, really muscular, and I thought, let me have a look. You know, I always like people that were into sports, so I just clicked the video, and I was seeing him doing close grip muscle ups like it was nothing, and I was watching it, and I thought, is this guy like from another planet or something? Because his strength was like crazy from another level, and that was for me something I thought of, like, this is something I would never achieve, you know. But then I thought, let's try it. So I tried some pull-ups with Sensei together. I think back then it was like in Ramadan we used to go like after like iftar and really late. Do you remember in Kijkduin? Rainy days, and it was dark on the beach with the hard wind, and we were just doing pull-ups. And I remember back then I could only do 3 pull-ups.
it's on the blue bars, right? I know them too.
Yeah,
At
the blue
Kijkduin.
bars, yeah, man. And my calluses were ripping open like now, and it was crazy, man. Because every time, like back then, bro, when it was low, you know. Now, alhamdulillah, we're up. You know, we're blessed. Back then as well, but I know I had no internet outside on my phone, so I went home, watched these videos on Wi-Fi, you know, watch these videos and run to a park and doing some pull-ups because I had the motivation, you know. And then I was watching some tutorials of how to do a muscle up. The same thing again. I always got the 2 a.m. motivation, you know. In the night times, I was watching a muscle up tutorial. I had no like 4G, 5G outside. So I was running to the park quickly and doing some pull-ups, or trying to remember the steps of the muscle up. And that's how I really started the calisthenics journey. And until this day, if I need motivation, I just type in Hannibal for King and I watch his first ever videos like from 9 years ago. I think those are the best, man. Just raw content. You hear him not even speaking one word, and he's inspired a lot of millions of people. Everybody in Russia, I think, in like this section of Europe, everybody that's doing calisthenics is all because of Hannibal for King. He was the first person, I think, that went viral in the European side. Of course, he's a hood legend also in Brooklyn and New York, but crazy.
Were there ways you felt like you could relate to him?
Yes and no, because they come from a really different background, bro. They
Yeah.
went to jail, and that's the reason they started working out with their body weight. You know,
Yeah.
we in Netherlands, bro, we live, man.
We're comfortable.
Yeah, we're comfortable, but still, like, my progression speaks for itself. You know, Alhamdulillah, I also worked hard and doing the moves that he does, but still not on his level. I believe he is just from a different planet, man.
You mentioned that back then you would look at his video and you would be inspired and you would directly go train. What does it feel like that now you are that person for some
Yeah,
people? Because there are comments in every video, also on the last podcast we did with, this is the guy that made me start going outside again. I was in the depression. I started going for walks, and I slowly built it up, and now I'm actually doing 2 pull-ups. When you read that, how does that make you feel?
Well, it's crazy, man. I can't describe it into words because I sit here as if I'm the Enes like from 3 years ago. These followers, you know, don't mean nothing to me, but the impact means a lot. And also, what you just said with those comments really like touch me, you know, and that's why we do it. That's why we stay active, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't stay active on my IG, man. For me, money is always good to have. You know, a good status is also good to have. But for me, what's really valuable is impact, and that's what money can't buy. If you have a great impact, that's the most valuable thing I think you can have and if it's the impact in a positive way, you know, you can also have impact in a negative way. But alhamdulillah, what I'm doing is something great, and I'm proud of it. And when I watch back, those people also are a motivation source for me. So it's on 2 ways: they motivate me and I motivate them. And I think that's an ongoing thing, and it will go, inshallah, till death.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
What is it like? Or I should phrase it differently. What would you like to be remembered for?
Just as a legend, man, that was known for bringing people to the good side, to bring closer to Islam, to bring closer to a healthy lifestyle, to just focus on reaching their full potential and just stay positive. I like positive people, and I like to be a positive man. And just remember as a legend, inshallah. And I also always said to the brothers around me, I said, if I ever passed away, here are all my passwords. Get my account and just start a charity and build parks everywhere, build wells everywhere, and just focus on bringing people up, man. Inshallah, and giving them lessons about Tawheed, lessons about Quran. So that's the goal, inshallah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I think like so many people have looked for something like this. Like you are, of course, now there's a big movement when it comes to spirituality and sports being combined in one way.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like you're one of the bricks that built that wall, and you're a big brick in that wall.
I appreciate you saying that, man.
And we talked about it. Now I think like it became a real movement, and like you created that. Looking back, is there anything that you think you would have done differently if you look at your journey?
No, man. Alhamdulillah, just the same, man. Because Allah is the best of planners. How we planned everything, that's the best. So I wouldn't change nothing, man. Qadr Allah. So just keep going. And I know my sabab is to just stay positive and work towards positivity in the terms of Quran and Sunnah. And inshallah, everything will be great, man.
Beautiful. I think in one of your last videos, you talked about after hardship comes ease. I would like to zoom in on that. I think there are people now, there will always be people that are in a difficult time, and they're dealing with certain stuff. Even myself, when I was going through some personal issues, and I would look back at our podcast, and I think one thing that really stuck by me, and even my team that I've talked with, Rowan and Emre, when we had some difficult times with the business or things that we were struggling with, or just things that we couldn't solve, it just wasn't possible. We're like, no, let's count our blessings, what we have. And it's just so beautiful. And I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you very much, man. You saying this to me also means a lot for me, man, because I also watch that podcast a lot of times to also remind myself again. Because I think, what you just said, we're blessed. Look, you have a crazy setup, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Nothing to complain about, man.
Yeah. Deen and dunya. It is something that is a topic in many talks. Many talks that are given by scholars as well. Nowadays, times have changed. How do we combine the two? Is it something that you have difficulties with, or that you deal with? And if so, for people that are watching, what would be some tips that you would have for them?
It will always be difficult, and I always will have the difficulties, because I think you have to find the perfect balance. Because if you focus too much on the dunya, you will drown in it. So
For people that don't know, what does dunya mean?
dunya means like just the worldly life, just focusing on everything what's happening on earth.
Yeah.
But for me, what helped me is when I got really stressful with things from the dunya, I just went back, opened the Quran, and just read. And my tip for the people that are struggling with a hard time, just grab the Quran and just randomly scroll to the book and open a random page, and just close your eyes and open a random chapter and just read it. And believe me, it will speak something that you are dealing with. And that's what I do a lot. If I have hard times, I just randomly open the Quran app and just scroll through with my eyes closed and just click a chapter. And then I see a surah, and then I just randomly click a verse and just look at the interpretation, and it will always motivate me to just have the reminder, okay, this is just a little time frame that we live in, and something bigger is upcoming. And that is why we have the 5 daily prayers as well. Every day, every time of the day, you get the reminder of, okay, there's a different side of this life. You have that on Fajr, you have that on Dhuhr, you have that on Asr, you have that on Maghrib, you have that on Isha. So 5 times you get reminded that this is not your end goal, but the Akhirah is your end goal. So that's what really helped me to get out of a uncomfortable situation, or maybe some people like to call it depression. So just focusing on my religion really helped me to get out of the uncomfortable positions. And also, I think training physically is also a great combination with that. So that's why.
What's been really interesting is that I think nowadays, looking at your follower base from my study and the comments I've read, is that your influence has grown larger than the Islamic community.
Yeah,
I've seen many Christian people,
Yeah.
people without a religion, people from all around the world commenting, "Hey, I'm not Muslim, but this really fired me up." Islam, of course, has 5 pillars. For people that know nothing about this, and I've just been watching this podcast to get inspired, could you just enlighten them a little bit about the 5 pillars and what it takes for someone to conduct themselves in the right ways within the Islam?
For me, what is really important is that people really like to jump already on skip the first pillar, because the first pillar is the testimony, is the shahada. So that's just you bearing witness that there is no creation except Allah, there's no creator except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And a lot of people, they don't have the knowledge of these important words. So my advice to the people that are looking into the religion of Islam, firstly start at the first pillar. So get your knowledge about Tawheed. Learn the attributes and the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A lot of people just say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and they think they are already Muslim. But you have to, if you are a witness of something, you have to have knowledge. Otherwise you can't be a witness. If there is a car accident outside, may Allah forbid, and I ask you, Yunus, do you know, were you a witness? And you said, yes. So, and I ask you, what happened? Yeah, I don't know. Then you are not a witness, so your thing isn't valuable. So that's why I like to always say to people, if you want to convert to Islam, just get to know your Creator first. What are His names? What are His attributes? What is Tawheed? What are the things that makes Allah one, the one Creator only? So then you have the 99 names, and every name is an attribute that shows why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one to be worshipped. So that's for me an advice. Just Focus, of course, on the 5 pillars, but start at 1 and get your first pillar so strong that the other pillars will be easy. So if you know why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one, your prayer will be much more easy because you know you have a better connection with Allah, you understand His names and attributes better. So you'll pray with more khushu, with more concentration, with more feeling in your heart. So that's just an advice for the people, man.
Very beautiful. I've also seen, I think, a video with a very young guy. It was a while ago. That was a convert. And I think the one of the first days that happened, you were with him.
Yeah.
Can you tell me something about that experience?
It wasn't really his first day because
Okay.
he was already getting a lot of da'wah from different people.
Okay.
But I was asking him some things about Tawheed, so the first pillar. And his knowledge wasn't really enough about the Shahada. And that's why we thought through, and he said, oh, this is the real Islam. I want to do my Shahada. So then we focused on doing his Shahada, and that was in Ramadan, actually. So that was in Ramadan. And he said, it was a couple of days before Ramadan, and he said, okay, I want to take the Shahada and do this seriously, and I want to gain more knowledge about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and what the pillars are and this and that. So we took him under our wing, went to Taraweeh together, like the night prayers. And then he said, yo, Ike, I want a kufi like you. I want to wear the same thing. I said, bro, there's just one thing you have to do before you wear the kufi. You have to shave your head bald. But I was making a joke. He said, well, I actually want to do that. I said, why? He said, that just shows you your discipline. And I like your discipline. He said, you just don't care. I said, bro, if you want to do it, I can bring my shaver and we can just do it. He said, you know what? Bring me a kufi as a gift and your shaver, and I would just shave my head. I said, bro, you're serious? I said, yeah, I'm serious. And he's a guy really humble, and he just doesn't care about his hair. His hair was just one length. He said, bro, I'll just shave my head, you know. I said, okay. Next day, I waited him at Taraweeh because we always were meeting at Taraweeh, you know. Then I saw him, and I was just looking at him if he was serious, you know. And he was looking, and he said, bro, have you got the shaver? Like really in a great spirit, you know. And I said to him, of course I got the shaver. Then he said, you know what, after Taraweeh, let's go and shave my head. I said, okay. Then, because what we used to do is after Taraweeh, we were just with the brothers and going to just a place to grab some snacks and just grab some ice cream, just enjoying, you know, the whole day you were fasting and now it's time to cheat and enjoy with the brothers after the prayer. So we went to a random gas station. You had bright lights like this. And he said, yeah, you know what, shave my head. And then we started shaving his head on the middle of the street. And after that, yeah, I gave him the kufi as a gift. And I think till this day, he shaves his head. So alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
It's crazy to see the impact, you know. He said, I like the kufi, and it just shows discipline. And he saw me in the gyms a couple times. I didn't know him back then. And he saw me in the gym. And he said, bro, you look like you walk in slow motion. And he was saying all this nice stuff. And I said to him, yo, give me your number. And that's how we met. And also because he knew one of my cousins. That's how we met. And alhamdulillah, just a serious brother, man.
Well, what I find so cool about the story is that you're really excited when you talk about it.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is when, for example, I talk to you about, hey, Enes, next week you're going to hit the 1 million followers. It's nice and it's great. Yeah. But the personal stories is what really gets you going. And I think this on the long term as well, like the impact that you have on people on a personal base. Of course, your time is limited, so you can't go out and reply to every DM and shave everyone's head when they want to.
Yeah.
But like you taking the effort to actually go an extra mile for someone, the meaning that has for someone when that happens is out of this world. And
alhamdulillah,
thankfully by the way of today, we have media and we have cameras and we can communicate with the outside world. We've been able to expand that message to a bigger audience. But I think people sense when something is sincere. Nowadays, it's hard to judge if someone is just there talking to a camera because they want something from you. We have all these courses being sold to us for 997 euros, and you'll become an e-commerce legend within 2 months. And then you also some people that actually want to communicate a good message. Not to put any shade on them, of course, some have good intentions, and
course.
I'm sure they've helped many people to grow a business. But I think that
But what's the problem for me? Sorry for interrupting. Is because a lot of people that selling these courses about e-commerce and just those money courses, you know,
Yeah.
how to earn money, are claiming the message of let's get out of the matrix. But what really is the matrix? For me, I see the matrix is just the temptation of the shaitan. These people claim if you have money, you're out of the matrix, but that shows me you will be more in the temptation of the shaitan, so you will be more in the matrix of the shaitan. Because if you have money, they show the nice videos of chilling on a yacht with a lot of women and a lot of money, and that for me shows you're just in the matrix of the shaitan, and you're claiming the message of, yeah, let's get off the matrix, but get your facts straight of what the matrix is. And that's why I just do my job, and I don't care about the money, and I don't care about the following. I just care about my impact, and I just want to show them that's not the matrix. Getting out of the matrix is knowing the truth in your religion, in your just your mindset. And of course having money is good, but use it for the right things. And a lot of people are trying to show off with a nice car, with the Urus and this and that. I think if you escape the matrix is when you drive the Urus somewhere in a mountain where nobody sees you and nobody knows you have the Urus. Why do I have to show the people what I have? It's just, I think it's dangerous because the evil eye, you know, is
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic, and I'm happy that you touched on it. It's not something that I was planning on talking about, but nowadays the standards, especially when you're young, you're very easily influenceable. And imagine you're in school, you just had a long day, had some economic class that was very boring, and you had to go over the same thing 9 times, which happens. And then you see someone has a nice,
Yeah.
tight-looking jacket, and he tells you, "Hey, if you do this course, then you'll become rich."
They just focus on the weak souls, you know, the weak-minded people. But
Yeah,
it's our job, I think, to let them see that
yeah,
that's not getting out of the matrix, you know.
and as you said, sabr, patience is so important within that, but also just doing the right thing. Now it's been so glorified to run a online business. I mean, you have one, I have one.
Yeah.
We have something that we sell to the world. If you want to do it well and you want to do it on a, I think in a healthy way that is maintainable, it takes so much, and it's not weird to work a regular job. My parents have worked regular jobs their entire life, and they're very happy with that.
Of course.
It's now been so glorified to run something on your own and not be working for a boss, but they forget to talk about all the other like underlying effects that it has if you have that. And I would encourage everyone to start it. It's great, try
course.
it. But if your intention is making money, then I can assure you that you will not succeed in the beginning. If of course money is a byproduct. If you're good and you deliver a value to other people, then you'll get paid for it. That's how the world works. But doing it for money to get money is
But that's just not only with the money courses they have. A lot of people also, I get a lot of DMs of people asking me, how do I get a six-pack as soon as possible? Why does everything have to be quick? You know, if you want to achieve something difficult, you have to put time and effort in it. You have to put like really your energy, all your time. And people just don't see the backstory of social media. Like, for example, they just see a picture of me with a crazy physique, alhamdulillah, but they don't know all the reps that I've done to achieve this. They don't know all the sacrifices I made, all the diets I followed. I can tell you, bro, this like water, I'm drinking only water for like 6 years now. No soda, nothing, just on a strict diet, trying to, you know, achieve my full potential. But a lot of people, they just think this comes by just doing something quick. A lot of people, they DM me and ask me, yo, what shake do you drink to get this buff? Bro, if it was a shake only, then I was more buff than now, you know. But they don't know it's just a hard work and dedication and discipline. But I'm just trying to show them also with my progress that this is not achieved easily, you know.
You mentioned full potential. What does full potential mean for you?
For me, full potential, I think you can never really, really achieve your full potential in like, because then you will be the perfect human being, but nobody is perfect, you know. For me, is somebody that is physically is matched to his spiritual. So his religion is strong and his physical, and he's strong in his physical aspects. That for me is like full potential.
Talking about that, inshallah, this podcast will be released during the month of Ramadan.
Inshallah.
For me, it's a month that holds a lot of value because I tend to think, as many people, sometimes I drift away from what's important. But during that month, I get reminded, and I've been doing it for as long as I can remember. The fasting with together with my parents, and just the fact that it brings us together only, like already that is so beautiful. But it also serves me as sort of like a reset. For some reason, always something beautiful tends to happen in that month. If it's not in that month, it's in the days after or the days before. It has something special, and it serves as a reset for the people that are watching this now. We're all fasting. We're watching this. Do you have any advice or
For the record, this is recorded before Ramadan, so if you drink this, don't say you're not fasting.
Correct. But just talking about this month, what are some tips that you would like to give people that are fasting and want to make the most out of this Ramadan? Because of course it's not just not eating and not drinking.
Actually, the journey of EKanon really started before Ramadan. Because a couple of days before Ramadan, I was talking with my cousin. I said to him, this Ramadan, we have to really make a change, you know. And that's where I just went to the barber and I shaved my head and I just made the decision of quitting all my bad habits, like of listening music, and just get rid of a couple people out of my life that were a bad influence. So Ramadan is really a great time frame to just focus on some new goals and leaving a lot of bad habits behind you, you know. And believe me, use this time frame because your life isn't guaranteed, you know. Maybe you won't even achieve the next Ramadan. So for me, Ramadan was really special, and that's why I said, I just went to the barber and I said to my friend, bro, shave it all off. It's a new start. I started wearing the kufi, deleted all of my music on Spotify, and just made a new, fresh start in Ramadan. And Ramadan is also the great one because if we fast, you can't do specific sins. So you can't look at women, you can't cuss, you can't just be negative towards people. You have to treat people good, like, and I think that's the best combination of just writing your goals down, getting your focus, and just focus on getting better in your religion. So
I was going to touch on that. You already mentioned it, but writing your goals down is so powerful. I also remember in one of your other videos you talked about that. You were writing down your yearly goals, but then like 2 months after you
Yeah,
achieved them. But I think on a micro level too. Like I want to make this podcast as practical as possible. This is not a podcast that wants to become big, so it's big. We really want to help certain people, and with the last podcast we have done that.
Alhamdulillah.
That's why I'm so grateful to have you on again. Like writing goals down is so powerful. Even I think me myself every day I try to, when I start the day, is really with an intention. What's my intention for the day? Write that down. I try to journal everything, and I think you have been journaling as well, or at least I've read that in. It was quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
What place does journaling have in your daily routine?
I think that's the best way to reflect on yourself, you know, otherwise you can't see if you're progressing. And I always write my goals down. And actually, I haven't managed to hit one goal, and that was hitting the 1 million before 2024. But we still go. And what I said, I'm a person that has a lot of sabr, alhamdulillah. But you have to write everything down and reflect on yourself. And I do it always when I walk outside. I think about what have I made the last month? What have I gained? What have I done wrong? What have I done good? So then I reflect on it and try to bring something better every time. And I think everybody should do that because otherwise you will live a lazy life without goals, without any discipline. And again, to reach your full potential, you have to push yourself, you know.
Yes, I think with that, Enes, I would like to end the podcast. Of course, we have so many things to talk about, but as you said,
Yeah.
there is something new coming, so that gives me another entrance for another 1.5 years. We'll sit together again,
Inshallah.
talk about all these beautiful topics. Well, what can people expect for the future?
A lot of great things, inshallah. I'm planning to travel to different countries for content. Planning to go to the UK. Planning to go to Dubai. Planning to go to Umrah again, inshallah. So there's just some things what I can spoil, and just what you've seen before, positive stuff, inshallah. And we just keep grinding like the rocket of EKanon, only up, inshallah.
Inshallah. Enes, thank you so much for today.
Thank you very much as well.